Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and for this Reseller Friday I want to talk to you about how building a brand as a reseller can help you stand out in a crowded market. Most resellers do not think about this. They approach reselling as a one-time transaction. Somebody goes to their store on eBay, they go to their Amazon listing, they buy the item, that's it. You don't see that customer ever again. Maybe if you get lucky, they go through your store a second time and buy something else, but the reality is it's just a one-time transaction in most cases. But that is because most people are not thinking about building a real business, and they're using these platforms and they're trying to build the platforms, the marketplaces. I hear people talking about their eBay business or their Amazon business, and that's perfectly fine to talk about it that way, but you have to understand that the business is the actual products you're selling. That's your actual business. You building the marketplace up is not helping your business. Now, yes, I guess it helps indirectly because if the marketplace does better, more people come to the site to buy, and theoretically you should get more sales. But realistically, if you make the site better, that you don't own, that you do not control, that could ban you at any time, you're not helping your business. And obviously we want all the marketplaces to do well. We don't want them to do poorly. So that's not even in question. But we want to build our own business. We're not trying to send people to, oh, go to my eBay store. Why don't you have a website they can go to that has some content on it, maybe a coupon or something, then send them to eBay. Or you can offer stuff on your own website and sell stuff on there. Now, I'm not telling you to dump the marketplace and just resell stuff on your own website, because that's not going to get you the sales. eBay, for example, has hundreds of millions of visitors every year, and Poshmark and Depop and Amazon, all these sites, these are billions of visitors every year going to these websites. You can't get that to your own personal website without spending a lot of money advertising, and you may still not get the best results. But you should have a website available, and you should have things on it for people to buy so that you can send your customers to that website and build your brand. Now, simple ways you can do this is you can throw a thank you card. This has been done since, as long as I can remember on eBay. I remember back on eBay when I first got on there over 2 decades ago, and people would send cash in the mail to you. They would send you a money order or a check, and you had to go cash it, and then you send their item out. That's just the way things happen. And people would send, if you bought something on eBay, for example, you would get a little card. Somebody say, thank you, please leave feedback, and I'll return the favor, or something like that. Well, you don't need to be begging for feedback. You can mention feedback in a little card or a little postcard or something like that you can include with your shipment. But you can mention your website. Sign up for my newsletter. I get new items every day. We list new items every week, or whatever it is. Some sort of catch that if you're selling, for example, rare coins, put the postcard in there. Make sure the postcard mentions something about, we have hundreds of new coins listed every month, or whatever you're doing that will grab the attention of the person who just bought that type of product from you. Now they can go, oh, they have more coins. I need to check out their website. And there are platforms such as Shopify that's very, very easy to use. You're not designing a website or anything like that. It's super easy. And there are different apps for it that will literally import all your items from eBay or Amazon or wherever it is. So you can have them cross-listed basically to your website, and it will sell on your website. So say, for example, you have a coin on your eBay, and that coin gets cross-listed to your Shopify store on your website. If it sells on your website because you put that card in there that notified them to go to your website, they buy the coin on your website. All that information is pulled from eBay. It removes it from eBay, and you got the sale on your website without having to pay the marketplace fees. And they could be the same for Amazon or wherever it is. This is not getting around eBay's terms either. You're not trying to sell something outside of eBay using eBay's website. This is you trying to generate your own traffic All the terms for all the websites, all the marketplaces allow you to put promotional material. Now, the only thing you need to be careful of is if you are sending something media mail. Media mail cannot include promotional materials. So do not put, if you're sending a book or a DVD or something of that nature, do not put promotional materials in that package. You can't do it if you're shipping it media mail. Now, if you're shipping it Ground Advantage or Priority or any other kind of form, you can put your promotional material in there. It's perfectly fine. But you need to think of your business as a real business and not as something on this marketplace over here. And try to build your brand. Try to encourage people. And another thing you can do that's very important is try to get into a niche market. Now, I'm not against being an everything seller. You can sell everything you want. It's perfectly fine. You can even make your brand be built around selling everything. That's perfectly fine. But if you sell mainly coins, maybe you have a few little pieces of clothing or something or whatever, then build your brand around the coins. Build your brand around the thing that is the main thing you sell, the main thing when you go out sourcing is you're looking for in the first place. It'd be wise to niche down to that, because here's the important thing. If you sell a shirt and a coin and a DVD and a Blu-ray player, you're not going to get the same customers for all those items. It's possible you could, but realistically, if you're trying to build a brand, you need to try to, if you're selling the coins mainly, you want to try to market to those people and build the brand around what you mainly sell, because somebody who's bought a coin from you is more likely to buy other coins from you. But if they buy a shirt, they may not care about the coins. If they buy a DVD, they may not care about the Blu-ray player. So it is important, if you can think about this and really consider, what do you want to sell? What do you enjoy the most selling? What is the easiest for you to source? All these things are things to consider, but build your brand around that, because that will enable you to get more repeat customers. Even if they just go back to the marketplaces and buy from your stores on there, that's perfectly fine. But repeat customers are really good for your business, especially if they had no problems with the transaction and they come back. A satisfied, happy customer that keeps returning to buy from you can make you a tremendous amount of money. I have customers for websites that I own that have been coming back for over a decade, and they buy repeatedly month after month for years. And that is something you can build up. But if you're just selling on the marketplaces and you don't have your own website built around the products you're selling, and you don't encourage people to go to that website, you're not building a brand. You're just somebody on eBay. Your username can be user1234. No one's going to care. To those users, you're just a generic eBay seller, generic Amazon seller, generic Poshmark seller, generic Etsy seller, generic Depop seller, generic whatever. But when you start branding and start trying to think outside of what everyone else is doing, what average people are doing, they're just being that generic seller. They're just viewing it as a one-time transaction. You can grow greatly when you change your mindset about your business and you're trying to build a real business. There have been brands, clothing brands, for example, that were started by someone just reselling clothing. And they literally built up into a brand. And a brand worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But you can't do that if you're just viewing this in this, really it's a poverty mentality of a one-time transaction. And you always got to get a new customer. Always got to get more people. Instead of building something that people want to come back to and buy more from. And that takes real planning and strategic thought about how you're going to run your business, the products you're going to source, and how you market it to your customers you do get. So my friend, I want to encourage you. Sit down and write down with paper, pen and paper, write down, how can I do things differently in my reselling business? What can I do to build my brand? If you'll do this, you'll start to increase your repeat customers, which is very important for a business. You don't want to be that business that's always having to get a new customer to get a sale. That is a business that doesn't survive for the long term. or maybe it does survive, but it just doesn't do as well as it could if you were focused around a central brand and telling your customers they can buy from you on your website, that you have discounts there, that you do things differently, that they'll get some sort of discount if they come to your website and buy because they are a loyal customer and you want to reward them for being a customer. And you want to encourage them and bring them into your ecosystem and build your brand and something they rely upon. And then what you got to do when you get those customers to your website and they're buying products on there, you better do everything you can to ensure that customer is satisfied. You need to ship as quickly as possible. You need to make sure the item is perfectly described. You can't be sloppy about this. Treat it like a real business. Run your reselling business like a real business and treat it like a brand that you respect, that brings honor and dignity, and that you do the best for your customer. Your customer wins, you win. It is a good transaction all around because you've built your brand as a reseller and you have stood out in a crowded market of generic resellers who are just selling the same things and do not care about building a brand. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly. Now, this is a little bonus part I want to give you for people who actually watch the entire video and don't just click off when they think the video's over. You may wonder why I didn't mention in building your brand for your reselling business, I didn't mention social media. That is because the simple reality is social media does not get you sales in the traditional sense of you trying to sell stuff on a marketplace. Now, you could advertise on social media and potentially get some customers to your website. But the reality is there's been all kinds of research into influencers and brands paying them to show their products or whatever. And it doesn't get very many sales. There are some influencers who obviously can because they have just so many people. It's not even a matter of the fact that it's actually a good percentage conversion. It's just the fact they have so many people following them. But you're not in that position. And you posting, oh, I have this video game for sale. Oh, I have these shoes for sale. It's just going to look spammy and no one's going to follow you on social media to see you spamming, basically begging them to buy stuff. It is not what social media is for, and it's not going to help you build your brand. Now, you can have social media accounts for your brand and post interesting stuff, have like a little character around your brand. There are some fast food restaurants that have kind of a character in their social media, how they interact with other fast food restaurants on the brand, they're kind of joking around. There are things you can do like that. But if you're just on there, oh, here's this product. Oh, buy this product from me. No one wants to watch that. No one wants to follow you on social media if that's what you're doing. So you can certainly build a brand and use social media to help you with that, but you have to be very wise about it and understand that social media is not your place to spam all your items that are for sale and hope somebody clicks on one and buys it. That is a waste of your time. Time you could be investing into finding more high quality items, listing more high quality items, and that will actually get you sales. So yes, add social media into building your brand if you want, but understand that use it to build the brand, not just to sell people a bunch of stuff. Because in the end, if you build a good brand, people will be interested in what you have to sell. And then if you do every now and then mention, oh, I have this website where I sell shoes or whatever it is, they might be more likely to actually click on that when you haven't been hammering them day in and day out with, here's a new item I listed. Here's this item. You want to buy this? I have this in 2 colors. No one wants to see that. So I pray this video was a blessing for you. I pray this little add-on bonus part was a blessing for you, and that you go out there and become a great success, that you build your reselling brand and watch as you get more and more sales and increase in your productivity, your profitability, and your overall satisfaction with your business.